Dear students, I welcome all of you in the another session of traffic engineering and management. So, in the last session, we had discussed about various important topics in which we initiated the module number 4. We completed the module number 4. Now, in this session, we are trying to head our next module. The subject name is traffic engineering and management. And we are beginning with the next module, that is this. So in last session we have discussed about the traffic forecasting, various kind of methods which are based on past trends and extrapolation. If you remember, we discussed total 6 to 7 methods through which we can have nearly accurate forecasting for all the traffic parameters. Now, if you remember in our first or second session, I told you that this particular subject is all about the relation between technical surveys which are required to be conducted and its implementation on the field. Now, the shortcut method of the particular surveys was like this. If you remember, it was VSF OPAC. So we discussed about volume studies, speed studies, flow studies. We have already discussed about origin and destination studies. We have discussed one another thing that is called as traffic forecasting. So in this session we are beginning with the new thing that is called as parking studies. Now you all know, let us first learn that which are the topics that are we are going to learn. So we'll learn about traffic and parking problems. Then we'll learn about ill effects of parking, and then we'll learn about zoning and parking space requirements in this session. So whenever we discuss about traffic and parking problems, we all know that as a habitant of Ahmedabad city, or you are living any of the cities or towns, you may have experienced that it is always experienced by people who are traveling on the road that they will always suffer from the issues of parking. Parking is always like first come first serve basis. Majority of the people who are late at arriving certain locations will face various kind of difficulties whenever it is about parking. So parking is a major concern, and if we discuss about Ahmedabad city, then you may have observed those towing vans who consistently lift our vehicles if the vehicles are parked at unparked locations. So this is about parking. That parking is one of the most important problems. See, the statement that is bold, that is very important, and you have to remember those things. That parking is one of the major problem that is created by increasing the road traffic. Means higher the traffic, higher the parking issue will be experienced by the people. It is the impact of transportation development. The availability of less space in urban area has increased the demand of parking space, especially where the area is in the region of central business district. You might have learned this word in another subject of transportation engineering elective, urban transportation planning. You will learn about CBD. CBD stands for Central Business District. Means it is, if this is the city, then this is called as CBD. CBD means those areas, those kind of areas where important buildings, institutional buildings, organizations, government offices, markets are located. If anytime we visit from this place to this place at the CBD, we will always experience the issues related to the parking. So especially or especially the parking issues are in relevance when it is about CBD. And it also affects mode choice. Mode choice means what? Mode choice means the type of vehicle through which the traveling is commenced. Means either we can travel with the help of rickshaw or with the help of bike, with the help of motorcycle. Let us have a detailed understanding about this. So these are certain facts that out of 8,076 760 hours in a year, in 1 year, approximate out of 8,760 hours, a sample car will run average only for 400 hours. That means for 8,360 hours, the car will not be moving. So what it will be doing? It will be parked at the parking location. So this is the requirement of parking. Every car owner would wish that his or her car should park very closely possible to the destination so that he or she do not have to walk much as possible. This thing results in the great demand of parking space in the CBD area and other places also where the activities are concentrated. Now, which are the objects of parking? Let us discuss about the objects of parking. That it is required to know the demand of parking space, to know the improvement and regulations for future development plans, and to decide whether any kind of paid parking should be established or not. If the rush of vehicles is very high and the area is very less available, then we have to go with the paid parking system where there are charges for the parking for number of hours, hourly based payment will be there. So this is about the objects. Now let us discuss about the ill effects of parking. Ill effects means the minus points, the issues that are being caused due to wrong parking. There are total five major ill effects that involves first is congestion. Congestion causes the loss of street space, it reduces the traffic capacity, it drops down the journey speed, it increases the vehicle operation cost because if congestion is there on the road, then the vehicle has to be started and has to be stopped a number of times. So it will reduce the efficiency and increase the vehicle operation cost, and it will also ultimately very uneconomical to the people who are traveling. So these are the issues which are caused due to congestion. So this is the first ill effect of parking. And the second is about accidents. The accidents are caused due to certain number of normal issues such as whenever there is a careless opening of the door of the parked vehicles means if this is the road, see this is the road and vehicles are coming over here and your car is parked over here, you should not open the right hand side door, otherwise it will cause accidents. That is the common sense which is not as common as it seems. Then moving out of a parked location, we should be careful whenever we are maneuvering our vehicle from the parking location. And whenever we are bringing the car to the parking location to the mainstream. So careful actions should be considered. So this is about the second ill effect, that is about the accident. Then the third is about obstruction to firefighting operations. Means if the vehicles are parked, then they can obstruct the movement of firefighting vehicles. If any kind of fire has been caused in the vehicle, a particular building, it can block the access to hydrants and access to the building. Then comes another ill effect that is upon the environment, that number of vehicles will reduce the environment of the town center because more the number of vehicles parked, more amount of CO2 will be emitted. It will reduce the environmental efficiency. The stopping and starting of the vehicle result in the noise pollution and fumes, as I have already discussed. And then comes the overall scenario that in spite of all the above effects, parking has to be allowed because we cannot do such thing that okay, the parking will not be provided. Parking has to be provided and it should be close to the destination. So parking is a must thing and should be provided. Then the third thing is about the zoning and parking space requirements. The main principle of parking, see, this is the important thing. The main principle of a parking policy is to provide the parking with a view not to increase more parking demand but manage and restrain and to discourage people from using personal vehicle. Parking space should be so provided that whenever the vehicle driver is entered in the parking space, he should feel that okay, from next time I will not bring my own car and I will always come in the public transport vehicles such as buses. The more number of public transport is being used, a less number of issues will be there. Let us take an example that in Delhi, 60% of all the trips are short trips. People do not like to walk. They want to take their four-wheeler, two-wheeler from one place to another. So this is the general tendency. While on-street parking and regulation plays an important role, this is also important, but promulgate zoning ordinance whereby all new buildings will be required to have within their curtilage prescribed parking space is also important. Means we will learn that what is on-street parking, but here what does it mean? So let us understand that whenever new building is constructed, the building must have certain parking spaces inherent in it according to the parking regulations. So the issues will be reduced. Parking demand is the function of land use, though there may be number of variations. So these are various IRC standard for parking area for the development. These are the standards. That if the plot area is up to 100 square meter, no private parking space is required. If plot area is 100 to 200 square meter, only community parking is required. If flat is there, one space for every 2 feet of 50 to 99 square meter. Then comes this criteria for offices, industrial premises, restaurants, theaters, and hotels. This is the important about hospitals that whenever applying the above standard, 3 by 6 for car for individual parking hospitals, 2.5 by far for the community parking, 0.8 by 2.5 for two-wheelers, and 3.75 by 7.5 meter for trucks should be provided when it is about hospitals. So you may have observed in hospitals that in hospitals each number of days are different for the parking facility. So this was about the first session of parking. I hope you understood the concept thoroughly. Thank you so much, friends.